Bert, join us, please. Join us, please, and let's get this thing moving. May I also welcome on stage Paul John Bakker. He is the CEO of ASICS Technology. And give him an applause, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Paul, welcome. And also Rob Elsinga, and he's the National Technology Officer at Microsoft. And to do my administration right, Paul, you represent your partner Nextview, right?
Also,
you're so proud of it, right?
Indeed.
Great. All right, gentlemen, would you do the honors to draft the context here, Ronald?
Yes, well, we're talking about bringing business value based on the technology foundation that we've been discussing just now. But that, of course, has a context, partners, customers, legal situation, countries, and their specific settings where you have to find your place. So let's talk a bit about that. So, Paul John, what's your business dynamics and tech impact there?
Well, as a fashion retailer, we are obviously interacting with the consumer directly as much as possible. Our two technology companies responsible for building out our global platforms to do so, ASICS Technology and ASICS Digital, are active in a lot of countries. We have people from Australia to the United States to here in the Netherlands in our main hubs. And also our consumer is a global consumer with regulations in many countries that we need to take into account. So the dynamics of using data, interacting with the consumer, and together with the government context, as you said, is for us a real daily endeavor.
Okay, and you do that all by yourself, or do you have some partners along the way to help you?
We definitely have some good partners on the way to help us. Over the past years, we've been, amongst others, working with Nextview to build out a lot of our omni-channel capabilities, basically bridging the gap between our retail store and our website. They've helped us deliver a lot of that capability roadmap in the last few years. And recently, they're also helping us out in basically defining a model in which we can prioritize our roadmap. So with a technology platform that spans the globe, all of the demand from each region and what their roadmaps and what they would like us to develop, and a limited amount of budget and people, I think it goes for the whole room here that we all deal with that challenge. And together with their design thinking approach, I think very recently in September, we came up with a great model to prioritize that workload and give it the right value.
Yeah, great.
So if you look to your choice made here, Paul, so you choose a partner, in this case Nextview, in terms of, let's say, boutique, kind of, doing both consulting and implementing, right? Yeah. Why did you make that choice, please?
Well, this partner in particular is one that fits very well with our culture. And the culture of delivery that we have, we are a very down-to-earth team. It fits so well with them that naturally our people and their people gel very well together. Right. And out of that cooperation comes a lot more impact than we would have with maybe a partner with less of a good fit. Right. We are also quite specific in partners that we choose. We have very specific partners in very specific areas. And Nextview is helping us a lot in this omni-channel environment.
Right. Yeah. So the aspect of culture, and I take that to Bert here, so the aspect of culture in regards to also your choice of partners is essential in these areas today?
Yes, I definitely think so. So at Mazda, we recently introduced the MSP model, Managed Service Partner model, where we are actually procuring services and not managing resources anymore. And that actually achieves 3 objectives for me. Number one is dealing with the global attrition crisis, right, from a resourcing perspective. Number two, leveraging the scale and depth of such an organization And then yes, culture is part of that. Understanding different cultures when you nearshore or rightshore, you're dealing with right different culture. For instance, right, we're leveraging the Wipro organization that sits offshore in India,
Right.
and they have different ways of doing things, right? And you have to be mindful about that. And you have to actually find consistencies in how you efficiently operate and work together.
So I hear, Rob, that partners are getting higher in the stack, right? Is that what's happening?
I definitely see that happening. Let's say I talk a lot about Gen AI with our customers, with CIOs. They all like to understand how can I increase my productivity, but also provide this technology in a safe way to my employees. They don't often don't want their employees to directly go out to ChatGPT and put privacy sensitive stuff in there. So how can I provide this for my employees? How can I provide co-pilots? But especially what can I do with my data? And how can I build let's say impactful use cases for my organization based on our own processes, customers, those kind of things. And in order to get to those use cases, so I often say to CIOs, well, be careful in doing a lot of shiny stuff in your data and AI lab and then go to the board and demonstrate what it can do. Start at the top and really start thinking together with your board, your leadership team, about what it can do for your organization. Where are the pain points? And start from there. And in order to do so, you need partners, and not just Microsoft, not just the technology partners, but who can really help you in finding those use cases, those really transformational use cases, and also get help in how to do this in a responsible way, to basically transform your organization. So we work a lot with the big advisories, KPMG, EY, PwC, Accenture, Capgemini, in order to, well, not just do a use case, but also make sure that the organization is moving in the right direction, that people are becoming aware of what they can do with the technology.
And Paul John, do you recognize this? The way of getting others to help reduce barriers within the organization?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. So it has to do with, well, actually the dynamics resonate very much. We are, as every company, and also as you just said about Mazda, we're also in this space of interacting with our board and how can we support this company in venturing with Gen AI in a responsible way, and using our partners to basically come up with the best practices is basically helping us avoid some potholes that we really don't want to get into.
All right.
So, and this is also, like I said before to you, about using a specific partner in a specific area. We really like to utilize where partners are best, so that we get the most benefit, of course, but that we also becomes a real partnership. So you can take your partner along with you to the board to have that conversation, rather than always having that separation.
And is that the same way you do it, Bert? You have, of course, the perhaps a cultural difference. You said already the risk aversion that needs to be conquered, perhaps before taking those steps further. But do you use others to kind of help guide the way to the boardroom in this discussion?
Yeah, so in our operating model, it is Mazda still defining the strategy and locking it down, so to speak, but the MSP partner contributes to, right, and provides input to that strategy. It is very true that, the scale and depth I leveraged, I explained right before, is important to us, because an MSP partner, right, can benchmark use cases in the industry that we can learn about, we can leverage. They actually provide that input and provide that value contribution that I'm looking for. So definitely yes.
So you both have a clear, as a company, as an organization, a clear vision and roadmap also on your sustainability, right? In the context of purpose, right? So in what sense does, let's say, that massive deploy of data, a massive deploy of AI, you're a global operating companies, right? If we look to, at the one side, we have this, from a global perspective, Asia's doing its thing, America's doing its thing, and Europe seems to be the brave kids on the block, right? And putting that ethical question here, and they don't. So how is that for you? Is it a dilemma to cope with that or not? This is a bonus question, right?
Okay.
It's a bonus question, this.
I think the dynamics are, like you said, very diverse region by region. And like Mazda, we are a Japanese company, and the dynamics of in Japan versus the rest of the world is also different. So we, as a technology company in our own company, are looking at how can we cater for each region's necessities in terms of sustainability, integrating the data in the best way possible, seamless, secure. So we are building out an agnostic platform that will be able to deal with whatever the future brings in terms of requirements and data sharing, because we know it's coming.
Right.
We know roughly, in the case of Europe, when it's coming, but there are other countries where we are active, where rules are not decided with a very long lead up to them. So we have to be ready, and I think we are doing the right things in that space. Yeah.
I probably think you will agree, Bert.
Yes, to a large extent. I must say, surprisingly or not, right, Mazda Motor Corporation is a little bit of a atypical Japanese corporation where we have a lot of autonomy still within Europe. So we have a reporting obligation, but a lot of the technology decisions, right, we can still take ourselves. So that means if we tie that back to data and modern data platforms, whether or not we're talking about technologies such as Databricks and so forward, we in Europe are really spearheading, right, compared to Japan, which is a nice bonus.
Right.
We get to do what we want, so to speak.
Yeah, right. I need to ask this, Rob, your 30 seconds, of course, on what is your expectations or what is your vision in regards to that ethics regarding AI, right? We need to know from you guys, right?
Yeah, I think ethics and a good understanding of the societal impact, short-term impact and the long-term impact of this technology is very important. So I think it's very important to have these discussions with public and private sector, but also with society. And I think also that regulation is very good. At the same time, I think we should grasp both the opportunity in Europe by starting experimenting, using the technology, and not be hindered by too much regulation. And at the same time, so it's about, let's say, I always say I have an ambition, and it is making the Netherlands a guide country for AI, but based on responsible practices. And I think if we do that both and do that together, I think we can, as a country, but as companies here, I think we can let's say, innovate, and we can stay ahead of the curve as a competition.
Right. So are we on track, Ronald, with this wider context, so to speak, within the community?
Yeah, well, I think so. My heart goes out to this last statement. It's taken from my perspective as well. We need to cooperate on this. There is a lot of opportunity out there, a lot of potential in AI. There's a lot of questions to be answered, talent-wise, governance-wise, security-wise, whatever. But we can only get there to the bonus if we cooperate and talk to each other and give a lot of feedback both ways, and also with the government regulators in the loop, create an ecosystem in the Netherlands and in Europe to get ahead of this curve.
Right. Well, let us thank our dear guest. And we are, unfortunately, we're not Oprah, so we could not say, and we have shoes for you and you and you, but maybe next time, right? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.